Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. This Sunday, you guys remember, there's a pay-per-view. It's Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I keep on making plans for Sunday, and then I have to keep on canceling those plans because I keep forgetting that we got a pay-per-view on Sunday.
Pay-per-view on Sunday.
Those plans are basically just me sitting around doing nothing, but those are very important plans.
Those can be very important plans. You got to take time for yourself.
You got to take time for yourself. Speaking of which, tomorrow night, no Smash Zone. We're taking a rare week off from that, so no live streams.
Well, no, we'll have Numbers Don't Lie for
patrons at
YouTube channel numbers. We'll have that.
I might do an MF Steve here thing, but nothing here in the official. I got that Star Trek Online. I've been itching to check that out. So that's fun. And then I think I had like another game. I forget what it is. Anyways, I'm going to try to see if Star Trek Online can be like two players on the same ship, because Enforcer and I want our own starship. We want to go around like destroying other.
You just want to be in the holodeck the whole time.
Yeah, ideally, it's just me and the Enforcer on the holodeck watching LA fights. That's what we're going to be doing.
There you go. It's you, Enforcer. What's his name? Rob Shit?
And Rob Shit.
Shit. Yeah.
Rob Shit. We're all in the holodeck together. Lieutenant Rob Shit. He's our chief engineer, Larson. Oh, man. Anyways, so that's going to be fun. And then, on today's episode, we're going to talk about NXT. We're not like, look, for Big Red predictions, In Your House is not going to be, although it kind of should be. There's like,
it can be. I'm fine with it.
No,
more the better is my attitude.
To one at most. No, so I don't know. There's a couple things about the upcoming In Your House that I'm like, I don't know about this one. Most of it, I think I'm pretty sure what's going to go on. But we're going to talk about all that in a little bit here. Let's see here. We're going to talk about the women's tag title tournament and how it might not actually be happening. There is a tease out there for a huge potential return to wrestling. But first, of course, we've got a Dynamite tonight. And the big news over the past week or two has been the status of MJF. Yesterday, we talked about this meeting that was supposed to go down between MJF and Tony Khan. And sure enough, AEW announced via their Twitter today that MJF will be appearing on tonight's edition of Dynamite. We're going to be doing our recap of that tonight as well, right here at the Twitch and afterwards on YouTube and the podcast things. So, what do you think? Do you have the scoop? What's MJF going to say?
I got no scoop, but, they were supposed to be this meeting between MJF and Tony Khan that happened. And we were curious, well, if it goes well, then maybe MJF will be back sooner rather than later. If it doesn't go well, then maybe he won't be back for a while. I would see this potentially as positive signs that this meeting went well. Maybe they have worked out the issues that were causing the tension in the first place, and they've agreed on a path to move forward with MJF and AEW. We don't know, though. We don't know what happened with this meeting at all. We don't know if he's just coming in just to like kind of troll the crowd a little bit and leave, just to further rumor and speculation about his status. We don't know. We don't know anything. We won't know. We won't know until we get some reports from backstage what happened at that meeting, if we get any reports.
Man, we got to start making stuff up, man. Everybody else does. Let's start making stuff up, Larson. No, you're right, man. We don't know what happened. It'll be interesting. I seemingly, dude, I would think. I mean, it just sort of makes some amount of common sense that they reach some form of common ground between the two of them. Otherwise, they had the scenario for him to be written off TV for as long as necessary for them to get this sorted out.
It'd be great if he came out with the neck brace, and somehow, you know how when he was wheeled out in the stretcher, they had the oxygen mask over his nose and eye.
It was up here, yeah.
It was up here rather than here.
Yeah.
If he comes out with the neck brace, but somehow still with the oxygen over his nose and eyes, that'd just be funny to me.
That would be funny. I'm not sure how much it would really service the story or be a distraction.
None whatsoever, but it'd just be funny.
I like good comedy. Yeah, that'd be good. But yeah, you know, you would think, I don't know, it just stands to reason. I mean, I would find it difficult to believe, although I guess it wouldn't shock me or be that surprising, but I would find it difficult to believe if they sat down, had a meeting and said, yeah, we're still not on the same page, but I'll show up on Dynamite anyways. That would be kind of weird, although I guess anything's possible. Maybe it's like, hey, let's just take it one step at a time. I'm willing to do Dynamite in good faith, and we'll leave this door open for further communication. And maybe that's where it is. I don't know. I'm sure Sean Ross Sapp will probably have it at some point, what the deal is. But I'm glad to have MJF back on my screen.
Indeed.
I kind of wonder if, I don't know, man. Like these Dynamites, I mean, that's a big selling point. I guess that's a big selling point. I was going to say, would it have been smarter for them to say, hey, things are cool, but stay off TV for a couple weeks and we can pop ratings in a couple weeks when we can turn this situation, work it a little bit so that, because everybody loves a big anticipated return, you know, squeeze as much as you can out of it because it's going to be a big show regardless tonight. But I guess this gives people an extra reason to tune in, huh?
Yeah, you know, and since MJF has been the talk of the wrestling world for the last, 5 days or whatever, you know, kind of strike while the iron's hot too. I understand that point of view as well.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either approach. I guess the more salient question is what's going to be the deal going forward? As you mentioned, is it some sort of, they reach some sort of agree to disagree agreement and let's just move on? Mm-hmm. You know, did they manage to talk things out to that extent? Did it go further? Did they is there going to be an extension signed? We just don't know these things.
So
know?
like
and
when
I doubt MJF's promo tonight is going to illuminate anything.
Oh, I don't know about that. This dude loves to drop little references to real life in his shit. I wonder what though. You know, he left the venue right afterwards. You know, evidently it's only been a couple days. I wonder what, if there was an activity in Vegas perhaps that brought him some clarity. Like, oh man, I got to get this figured out. He's sitting there, you know, he's dropping like quarters in the slots.
Oh, slot machine.
Just
Maybe he
went and saw
Spam-A-Lot.
He went to go see Blue Man Group, and he was like,
maybe
I need to get back to work.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Spam-A-Lot. That's good. He went to go see his, is Tom Jones still with us?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think
bummer. So. Breaking news. Tom Jones is dead, according to Larson.
I don't think so.
It's not unusual. He saw that.
Was the last time he had.
Maybe he saw Tom.
Yeah, he is.
He's still alive?
Yeah, he's 81 years old.
Does it say he's still active?
Well, I don't know. Hold on.
Usually on Wikipedia it says active till whenever. What was he active from, like 1962 or something? It says
2010 till present. 2021. He had a cover album.
When? Last year?
Yeah, last year. So he's still active.
That's still active, man.
I don't know if he's touring it all though.
Maybe MJF saw Tom Jones and was like, "Hey, man, this guy's still doing it at 81. He still has it. What am I complaining about? You know, I'm gonna get back to work." Active wrestler Tom Jones. Oh man. Anyways, let's talk about Bray Wyatt, Larson.
Sure.
So Wyndham Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt Man in WWE, has been busy making a movie since he was released by WWE. But based on some recent tweets, he could be returning to the wrestling ring, perhaps soon. ? Yesterday, Wyndham tweeted out this: "Everything good that's ever happened to me first came a period of horrible suffering, man. I never ask why, I just wait for the rough part to end. I was chosen for whatever reason, and I've got shit to do. It doesn't hurt anymore, it burns. I'm ready now." He says, "I'm tired of watching, tired of hearing irrelevant clowns speculate how I'll be perceived." Is he talking to us, man?
Sounds that way.
"Tired of hearing about my greed, my desire questioned. Whenever and wherever I decide to return, I'll remind everyone why they know my name. Again and again, believe in me. Patience, it's almost time."
And then probably he'll tweet, I'm here.
Run. I'm
Run.
here. Yeah.
Run.
So this Sunday, of course, is Hell in a Cell, Larson.
He's not coming back to WWE.
Bray Wyatt confirmed.
Maybe all this is not alluding to return to wrestling. Trailer for his movie is about to drop.
Oh, that could be. No, that could totally be. That'd be awesome. True World Order says Tom Jones is playing Vegas September to October.
Oh, very cool.
So maybe he saw a Tom Jones impersonator.
Tom Jones was great in Mars Attack.
Yeah. Well, you could end before you said in Mars Attacks. He is great, was great.
Yeah, I know. Tom Jones is great.
People, the women used to throw their undergarments at him. God damn. So yeah, so maybe this is his movie, but let's say it's wrestling. What's the best fit for Wyndham Rotunda, man?
I mean, I think history's kind of showed us that WWE isn't exactly the best fit for him. It's the largest platform for him to tell his stories, obviously.
Money, man. I just put all my money in this movie.
But it seems like
I need more.
It's constantly butting heads with Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
From a creative standpoint, and if he values creative fulfillment just as much as money, then I don't know. I mean,
House of Torture, man. House of Torture.
Oh, you want him to go to New Japan, join House of Torture?
Absolutely, take over House of Torture. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you look at AEW, and I mean the closest kind of guy I think to him in AEW is probably Malachi Black.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, he hasn't been featured in as prominent a role as I would like. That being said,
agreed.
He still comes off as really damn cool. They put on some really fun matches. Like they had a really terrific match recently. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Could it be a miss in AEW? Maybe, but AEW, they also sort of, they keep on trying stuff until they get it right, or at least try to get it right. So, I mean, that's sort of the obvious, big landing spot for him if he wants to dive into wrestling. But I don't know, man. Maybe doing this movie, he catches a Hollywood bug. If it does, with whatever service it ends up being on, be it theatrical release or just on streaming on Shudder or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If he really enjoys it and makes a little bit of coin off it, maybe he'll stick around Hollywood. I'm really interested in this thing, man.
I know, me too. I've always kind of thought that it seems like the stories he wants to tell is not a good fit for at least WWE's approach to professional wrestling. I don't know if they would work elsewhere, but just in terms of the stories he likes to tell, the way he wants to tell them, it just seems like an odd fit to the tropes of pro wrestling. And, I would imagine he'd have to be given a large degree of creative latitude wherever he ends up if he goes back to wrestling, to tell the stories that he wants to tell and the way he wants to tell them.
I mean, dude, it could end up being like a bit of an Orson Welles situation where if he accepts like a Brock type deal, like I'm not talking about money wise, but it's like, hey, listen, that's the thing about WWE and Bray Wyatt that they actually kind of got right is that they didn't have him on all the time. There were long periods of time, not due to injury, where he was just gone. If he says, hey, if we can work out a deal where I get paid decently. I mean, somebody mentioned here his Twitter handle still has Wyatt in it.
I think he just changed it to Wyatt 6.
Wyatt 6, yeah. If he works out a deal and says, hey, you get me for the big 4 pay-per-views or the big events that you want me at, maybe the Saudi shows or something like that, and then he can go away and make movies because, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes the Orson Welles analogy was because he would go and do these soulless acting gigs or fish stick commercials and then finance his own independent movies with that stuff. Sometimes coming across money in Hollywood isn't the easiest thing in the world to do. So I don't know. Maybe he'd do something like that with WWE. I don't know. But I mean, obviously, what he seems to be really into is a weird fit for pro wrestling. That's why WWE never really seemed to get it down right. It's like, okay, this guy, like, how many moral victories can you have while eating pins all the time?
Yeah, I know. Let's talk about this. So we haven't heard much about the women's tag title tournament that did be announced shortly after Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out on Raw a couple weeks back. And according to Dave Meltzer on a recent Wrestling Observer Radio, seems like we're going to have to wait even longer for it to happen if it happens. These transcripts come to you from WrestlingNews.co. Is what Dave had to say, quote, that women's tag team tournament is like dead now. Yeah, not a word. They had an idea for 4 women's teams whatever they end up being. It was pitched, but it was never signed off on as of like a week ago. Now I have no idea what's going on. It's like not a word.
So confirmed Dave Meltzer watches WWE programming, because they have not mentioned the WWE Women's Tag Title Tournament.
They haven't done anything to promote it, to even give one the idea that it's even going to happen. Pretty much since the moment that Michael Cole announced it.
It seemed like an idea born purely out of spite, just to say, hey, we're moving on. But here's the thing, Larson. They advertised this, and now millions of fans are disappointed that this tag title tournament was announced, and now they're not doing it. WWE has let down millions upon millions.
And not only millions and millions of the WWE universe, but WWE superstars as well.
They've let them down. The millions of WWE superstars and the millions of fans that watch Raw and SmackDown and YouTube highlights and Celodrama Global fans, Wrestling News Now fans. They've let us all down. Like, come on, WWE. How could you do that? I feel personally offended.
Yes, we expect better from you, WWE.
Summarily and unprofessionally removed,
didn't follow through on their plans.
Tournament.
Yes.
Wow. Feeling so let down. Man, you know, make me feel better after being let down. Paying some bills, Larson.
All right. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp Online Therapy. You know, Steve.
Yes.
Life can be overwhelming at times, and it's easy to feel burned out without really realizing it. And while burnout is often associated with work, any of life's roles can lead to burnout.
True, Larson. So if you're feeling fatigued, irritable, or unmotivated, you could be dealing with burnout. And BetterHelp wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking to someone can help you find out what's causing the stress in your life.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've felt that fatigue, that lack of motivation, that irritability that comes with burnout. And I've gone through the process of trying to find a therapist, so I know how difficult it can be to find the right person to talk to. But BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
It's also much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you could be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/raw. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw. NXT in your house this coming Saturday at that's still at the Capitol Wrestling Center.
I believe so.
At the NXT arena still.
I guess so.
So yeah, but so let's go ahead and talk about this particular card, because we've got a bunch of title matches. We've got big stakes on the line. The possible merger/acquisition of one Underworld Empire and another Underworld Empire. It'd be nice if these two were like, you know, there was a way they could have done this Legato versus Tony D thing without it feeling so cheesy. Like the personalities involved are cool. It's just like, what are you guys actually fighting over? Like, I know. Territory, turf. Like what if there were some titles involved? Like if NXT had introduced their own trios titles or something, then like, okay, they're fighting over this tangible thing, because the idea in wrestling is with titles come money and power. You run a particular division or whatever, but they're not really running anything. Like he won a match to claim Dawn of NXT, which really
we haven't seen either group engage in any of the criminal enterprises to lead us to believe that this is their turf. You know, we haven't seen anybody doing a numbers racket. You know?
Yeah, like Shaw Samuels is running more of a racket over in NXT.
That's what I'm talking about. Something like that, you know?
Right.
And
shaking
without
down
that,
people, protection money.
Exactly, protection money, all that kind of stuff. And without that, it's just a lot of talk with not a lot of substance behind it.
There's nothing there that they're fighting over.
They could rent a giant yacht and try to claim as Santos, but we all know that people in NXT don't make nearly enough money.
They're making that MJF money is what they're making.
To buy a rowboat, much less a giant yacht.
Yeah,
so,
right. Yeah.
It kind of it doesn't have a whole lot of substance to it. I mean, especially the stuff on the yacht, the way it was just produced was cheesy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the match will hopefully be good. Santos is great.
Santos is fantastic in every way, shape, or form. I love Legado. I think they're great. I wish they would win more. And that's sort of the point, is that they don't really have much to show for any of this. Like, they're both like losing, like what the two dimes and stacks. Just, they got to win against, two perpetual losers in Malik Blade and Idris Enofe recently, but they've also just been introduced. I know they're trying to kayfabe some backstory where they go around beating people up in their younger days. But they're not fighting over anything. But I guess there's going to be some goofiness with, either Legado is going to have to join Tony D, or Tony D is going to have to join Legado. When they brought up that I think Legado has, or Santos has, a win over Tony D, which probably just means that this is going to go the other way this time.
You think so?
And Legado is going to join Tony D's family, and it's all going to be played for laughs, which is great, and it might make for good entertainment. I mean, a lot of this stuff has been entertaining, but it's also like, okay, you guys are just really silly.
Yeah. I mean, that's what NXT is. It's silly.
It is. I mean, I shouldn't. I know exactly.
A silly show.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole main event storyline is silly.
Oh, that bit this week when Breaker was in the middle of his interview, and then all of a sudden, like, he's in a child's haunted house thing.
That was so bad. That was so bad.
And he's like, "Oh, no, Gacy! Oh no, I'm gonna."
Gets mad enough about to smash flat screen television.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Nope, I can't do it. I can't lose my cool."
Oh, that was so bad.
That was really, really cheesy. Otherwise, there was stuff that I kind of appreciate. I like the stuff with Diamond Mine. The Creed brothers, if they win on Saturday, they get to stay part of Diamond Mine. They bring back the tag titles. If they lose, I guess they're out of Diamond Mine, which you can only assume, I guess, that maybe Diamond Mine has some sort of lucrative management contract, which gets them, like, I don't know, some amount of incentivized money, because that's the only reason they'd care about getting kicked out of Diamond Mine. It's like, otherwise, why wouldn't, the three cool people in Diamond Mine? Shit, even Damon Kemp is cool. Kick out Roderick Strong. Just kick out the leader, or start your own.
Yeah, I thought Damon Kemp did pretty well in his first tag match with Roderick Strong.
Platinum Mine. Start up your own mine.
There we go.
Coal Mine. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that title match, Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy. Braun's got to control himself. If he gets DQ'd, he loses that title.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker's going to win that match. I don't see that going the other way.
The only question is, we're going to find out who the Druids are.
Soon to be NXT's number one Druids.
Mm-hmm.
Were they even featured this week? I'll be honest with you.
They stood in the background while Gacy did a promo.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was all.
I fast forwarded through that whole Gacy bit.
You didn't miss much.
I hit play when the interview came, because I know this Gacy just.
Yeah, no, he just talks and worries about it later. Let's get these picks in and we can go through the show. So, North American title bout, you got Cameron Grimes to the moon versus A-Champ Carmelo Hayes. I'd be surprised if Grimes loses, because he's already promised Solo Sikoa a title match.
He's got next.
Yeah, he's got next. I wouldn't be surprised if Solo Sikoa is next North American champion. You got to think Grimes retains here.
He's the most over guy there is. Carmelo Hayes really should be the next in line for Braun Breaker, and that's when he should win the actual A championship. So yeah, I got Grimes too.
All right, tag title bout. Toxic Attraction taking on Katana Chance and Caden Carter. Chance and Carter and Wendy Chu stood tall to close that women's championship summit during 2.0 this week. That means they're losing. Toxic Attraction retains.
Yeah, there is. I mean, maybe down the line, Roxy will take that title off of Mandy Rose. I don't know. I mean, they should probably call up Toxic Attraction at some point. They're ready for main roster. They're really good. They should really call up Katana Chase and Caden Carter too. So yeah, no, I got Toxic Attraction too. They're not. It's a shame though, because Wendy Chu's character is that sort of weird thing that everybody seems to love, and she has a really good handle on it, and she would make a really interesting, I think, NXT Women's Champion, just for how like weird her gimmick is and how fun it kind of is, because she's really good at doing whatever that is.
Yeah,
being a child or whatever the hell it is. I really liked it though. I like that whole segment. I thought it was pretty over, the whole just sign the contract thing, and then the whole crowd started chanting sign the contract, and Mandy held her own in that crowd, just trying to derail her. She did a really good job.
Let's talk. You mentioned this match. You got Tony D, Stacks, and Two Dimes taking on Legado del Fantasma. Since Santos won the one-on-one match, granted he used brass knuckles. I guess you got to think that Tony D is going to win this one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, they're going to trade them, and Legado, they just tend to lose. I mean, that's sort of what they do. So yeah, I mean,
if we were putting confidence points on this one, it'd be a single one.
My single would go to. No, you're right about that. The Toxic Attraction. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, you're right. This would be the single one. Yeah. Yeah.
The next lowest would probably be this next match, Pretty Deadly versus Creed Brothers. I feel like Creed Brothers' days in Dynamite are probably running out. They stood tall in their segment.
They held the titles in their segment.
I know, exactly.
That was big, yeah.
Not a good sign for them winning. They're probably getting kicked out. Roddy's going to try to either help them or cost them their spot in Dynamite because he's fed up with them.
I think he's going to do both.
Creed Brothers are out.
I think he's going to try to help them and inadvertently cost them. And then still kick them out. And Pretty Deadly, they're just like in UK, they held down the pandemic era of the tag division. They were just always the champions then.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's the same thing here for NXT, NXT proper. After that, we have Mandy Rose and Wendy Chu. Mandy Rose is totally going to win here because Toxic Attraction. When Toxic Attraction loses, it's going to be like three. It's going to be a singles and a tag team that are like really on the same page. Similarly gimmicked. I don't know if there's who was Cora Jade? She pals around with Roxanne Perez. Wasn't she palling around with somebody else though? No.
Yeah. I mean that's their story, is that they go way back to friends. So it's entirely possible if Roxanne Perez wins the breakout tournament, she'll go after the tag titles with Cora Jade rather than go after the women's title.
That could be. And then this is a given: Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy. This would probably be my highest.
I'd probably put Mandy retaining as my top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's points. A good point. I don't know. I'd put Grimes probably second highest, just because your logic is pretty sound. Solo saying, "I got next. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there you go. Otherwise, I thought NXT it was fine. A lot of the little character stuff I was really on board with. Sangha once again stealing my show. Telling Wesley, hey, man, go out there. You fight him, Zion Quinn, the guy who likes to run it straight. Fight him. Same way you fought me. You're not a giant. And that sort of Wesley was like, hey. And then he says, but you got a heart of a giant. Not an enlarged heart. Just the heart of a lot of heart. Metaphorically.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I guess we can jump into it. Show opens with Dynamite arriving at the Performance Center. Roddy tells the Creeds and Ivy Nile, you have the night off. Just watch how I go take care of Pretty Deadly. In the first match, it's Roderick Strong and Damon Kemp versus Pretty Deadly. And early on, commentary is wondering how coachable is Damon Kemp. So he's getting out wrestled early on by Elton Prince. He goes to his corner. Strong kind of gives him some words and then slaps him. Pow! Mm-hmm. After that, Kemp goes off.
Oh, yeah, man. He's going to be woken up a little bit. Well, it's the jet lag because he was coming back and forth from UK and NXT.
That's true. Anyways, in the end, Dynamite doesn't win. So Pretty Deadly has the advantage. And so Prince takes out Kemp on the floor. We got the finish here. Oh, so Elton Prince hands Kit Wilson the tag title. He grabs the other one. He brings it into the ring to distract the ref. Meanwhile, Kit's looking to hit Roderick when he gets up. So the Creeds run out to ringside. Julius pushes Roddy out of the way. So instead of Roddy getting hit by the belt, it's him. He falls to the apron or to the floor. So Roddy rolls up Kit, gets a 2. And when Kit kicks out, he pushes Roderick Strong towards the ropes. And he kind of looks and sees what's going on, wondering why the Creeds are out there. He turns around, Pretty Deadly hit him with their finish. Spilled milk to get the win.
Yep. After that, we had Cameron Grimes backstage warming up. Solo Sikoa steps in. He says, hey, look, I got your back tonight. I'm going to make sure Mello and Trick don't pull anything because they're commentary. He says, you go beat Mello and in your house. And remember, I got next. And then Duke Hudson steps in. He says, obviously, I'm next for the NXT title. I beat Braun Breaker just then. And Grimes is like, hey, nice haircut. He leaves. And Solo's like, man, you won Braun by DQ, and you needed Gacy's help to do it. And then Duke says, you're not on my level. And then Sikoa says, if I can't take you, then I'm not ready to challenge for any title. How about we have a match tonight? And then Duke is like, all righty. After that, Grayson Waller, who, yes, mark the date, Larson, June 1st, 2022.
I knew it was going to happen.
I've fully come around to Grayson Waller.
I knew it was going to happen.
The little comedy, because you know what? He's found all this little comedy stuff in the ring that he does that really is funny. When he was riding Briggs around, those little bits there that sort of tie his character all together, it's hilarious. Like what he sort of morphed into, I'm totally on board with.
Knew it was going to happen. Knew it.
Well, good job. So he asks Roxanne, he's like, hey, are you a fan or a fighter? Says, you have no business being in the ring with Tiffany Stratton. He says, you should be on the other side of the barricade. You could learn a thing or two. He says, everybody here.
Actually, Roxanne isn't there. He's just talking about
He's
Roxanne.
saying that about her, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, everybody here can learn something from Tiffany Stratton. He's like, you can't just hang around and expect to get anything. You got to go get it. He says, last week, Stratton ran through Fallon Henley. He says, Briggs. And then Briggs walks up into the background because he's talking shit. And he's like, Tiffany went to the finals where she belongs. And then he's like, oh, Briggs is behind me, isn't he? And then he tells him, he says, that's enough. He says, if you want to press everybody, let's see how well you take a country ass beating tonight.
Yeah. And then we had the Tony D'Angelo family, Legado, Del Fantasma, sit down on this giant yacht. I think they're like in Miami or something like that.
Well, giant. Like,
I mean, it was a pretty good size.
This isn't one of those billionaire yachts. It was like a decent size.
It's a good size yacht. The exterior shots made it, unless that was stock footage, made it seem like a decent size boat.
Mm-hmm. I would speculate it was probably stock footage, and they had a different boat that they actually
entirely
rented.
possible, like a fishing boat they had for the interiors.
It was a barge. Yeah, you have this nice like billionaire yacht on the outside. Go and there's like a fisherman pissing in the corner.
I know, you can just smell the vomit. It's just coming off the screen. So, anyways, Tony and his crew walk on the yacht first, and Legado comes in. And Santos like, all right, let's get going. So they head out to sea, or at least sailing around the coastline. And Santos is like, you're on my yacht. You called for this meeting. What do you want to address? And he says, you're going to talk to AJ Galante. And Tony says, no, I've already discussed things with AJ. He says, we knew this was going to turn into a turf war. I don't trust you. I don't like you. And Santos says, I'm not shocked by that. I know a snake when I see one. And Tony, you're a cobra. And there's nothing more than I like to squeeze a life out of you. And then Tony says, why don't we just finish this then? Elektra says, Santos has already beaten you. What's in it for us? And Tony says, well, Santos, you use brass knuckles. And then Santos says, oh, now you want to play by the rules. Lopez is right. What's in it for us? So unless you got a better offer, to see yourself off. I'm thinking, they're out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's going to see himself off this boat right into the Atlantic Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
They haven't established that they've docked the boat.
They have a little dinghy.
Unless they have some life rafts or something on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Tony says, all right, how about this? 6-man tag match. If we win, Legado, you have to join our family under my direction. If you win, we'll fall in line behind you, Santos. And Santos says, you're on.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, turn the boat back around. Now we have like 20 awkward minutes just hanging out with each other while we dock.
I know.
Exactly. It'd be funny if they had a little bit of comedy to this and like the guy Tony D and his guys jump off the boat and start swimming.
I know.
They got some floaties on their arms.
Yeah, exactly.
After that, we had Cora Jade versus Elektra Lopez. Made it back from the boat on time. Cora wins with a top rope senton here. Not a lot of momentum there for Elektra Lopez heading into her compadres match here. After that, we had a Wesley interview. He says, the interviewer's like, why did you challenge Quinn? He's like, have you not been paying attention this entire time? Like, my whole beef was with Quinn. He says, I've been waiting for this match. He says, now that he's cleared, I can't miss this opportunity. He says, my match with Sanga didn't go as planned, but as long as I've got air in my lungs. And then Sanga steps in and says, man, you need to fight Zion like you fought me. You're not a giant, but you have an enlarged heart. So best of luck.
Heart.
Oh, a giant heart. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Not literally. No, not literally.
Synonymous,
metaphorically
though.
Speaking.
Yeah. He says, so best of luck tonight.
And Wesley looked kind of annoyed by his presence.
Yeah, he needs to accept him as a friend because, he's got his back.
He does.
Nobody else does.
Nope.
Nathan Frazier noped out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, I know. So then we had a Roxanne Perez video package highlighting her background, her backstory.
It's the ultimate story for WWE.
It really is.
Just somebody in the WWE, a mark in the WWE universe.
A lifelong fan, someone who would take a bus 10 hours to go train at Booker T school and take a bus 10 hours back home.
Yeah.
Just
for the dream of being in WWE.
For being in WWE.
Yeah. She's like, I turned down a contract offer from AEW to be here. Which, who knows if that's true or not. Anyways, after that, we had Wes Lee versus Zion Quinn. In this case, Zion Quinn did not run it straight because Wes Lee was able to get it backwoods for the win.
We don't know what that means, so maybe he did.
Oh, maybe he did run it straight because we're not sure what that means.
No idea what that means.
That's true. Quinn dominated most of this match, and he was really throwing. I mean, he looked really good in this match. It's like the most crisp I've seen him, probably because he's in there with Wes Lee, who's really good.
Yeah, he is really good.
But yeah, Wes Lee ran it straight, rolled up for the win.
Don't know what that means. That lawn dart that Zion Quinn did to Wes Lee into the second turnbuckle, that was nasty.
That was something else, huh?
Yeah.
That was something else.
Then we get Dynamite backstage, and Roddy's like, Creed brothers, what is your problem? I told you to stay in back. Instead, you come out and you cost me my match. And Ivy now says, no, you don't understand. Pretty Deadly was about to hit you with the tag title. Julia stepped in and took the shot for you. And Roderick says, is that true? And Julia says, yes. And then Roddy goes, well, you still cost me the match. If he had hit me, I would have won by DQ.
What a dick.
I know.
An absolute dick.
Roddy's doing a really good job in this role.
He is.
He says, I'm the leader. And when I tell you to do something, you do it. Right now, failure is not an option. If the Creeds don't win the tag titles in your house, they're out of Diamond.
You're out of here. It's going to be me and Damon Kemp, who every moment this goes on looks like he regrets joining Diamond Mine.
1,000%.
He's sitting down the whole time. Half the time his head's just in his hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep. All right. So if you didn't watch this, I guess I have to go through this. So
man, can you it's a Joe Gacy video package. Can you try to boil
pretty
down
much
like
he pretty much says that Braun's anger issues are a side effect of his family. He points to Rick and Scott feuding at WCW and says that Braun had all this anger and aggression, and rather than dealing with it at home, he took it out on the gridiron and football games and shows some highlights there. And then he just says, hey, get back at me, Braun. It was pretty much Darth Vader telling Braun to join the dark side.
Okay.
Unleash your anger on me. Step outside the rules. Take out your frustration on me. Yeah, one way or another. He says, I'm going to be champion.
I mean, is it possible we're looking at the end of Empire Strikes Back here, where the Braun Breaker loses his hand,
Steve,
and his title?
Joe Gacy is no Darth Vader.
To Joe Gacy. Well, the Druids are kind of dressed like those Imperial guards. They got the red on. Maybe we'll see some lightning fingers. That'd be cool.
I think you're expecting way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, you're probably right. This isn't even going to be at a proper arena. After that, we had a Braun Breaker interview. He's, I'm not losing my title to Gacy in your house. And then cheesy, like, fucking animatronic.
Oh, that was so
Five
bad.
Nights at Freddy's.
It was so bad.
And, like, the lights start flickering on and off. And Braun's like, oh, no, I don't like this at all. And he's about to smash this TV that suddenly appears in front of him. And then instead he calms himself down and says, maybe Joel Gacy's right. I am predictable, but it's not a weakness. It's a strength. This weekend I'm going to rip Joe Gacy apart. He's a butt sucker. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Then we had the Women's Championship Summit. So Gigi's about to start talking. Katana Chance interrupts, says, we're sick of hearing you talk. and we're sick of seeing you with those titles this weekend. We're going to win. And Gigi said, well, I respect the confidence, but you really think you're the first team. You really think you're the first team to beat Toxic Attraction. There's a long list who have tried, many of whom aren't even NXT anymore.
Ooh.
Eventually, Caden says it's easy being on top if you barely defend the titles while you've been over here running your mouth. Don't forget that we are the only tag team to beat you. And Wendy just every now and again just says, sign the contract, sign the contract, sign the contract, because everybody else has signed it, save for Mandy. So Mandy says, I've heard enough. We're the best in the business because the titles say so. This Saturday, the superstar with the most pressure on them isn't Braun or Grimes. It's me, because I will do whatever it takes. So Chu isn't the next women's champ. Crowd starts chanting, sign the contract, sign the contract. So Mandy says when she became champ, everybody thought it was going to be a short reign, but it's been 200 days and counting, so put some respect on my name. She signs the deal, tells Wendy, stop playing your games. And then Wendy has like a giant straw and shoots a spitball at her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this irritates Mandy. Brawl breaks out. Katana Chance and King Carter take out Gigi and JC. They get in the ring. They take down Mandy, put her on a table, and then Wendy hits like a splash with kind of like a nap time posture.
Yeah, and then they all hold up
put her
the
to the table.
titles.
And they're all going to lose on Saturday. Yeah,
they're going to lose. Yeah. After that, Kiana James walks into the locker room as Ivy Niles doing some push-ups. She starts talking how about the numbers don't lie. She's like, are you still going to talk to the Creeds? She's like, I wonder if you're still going to even talk to the Creeds after Saturday, because after they lose, Diamond Mine's going to have to recruit new members. And Ivy's like, yeah, the Creeds are going to win. Diamond Mine forever. And James says the Creeds have only a 12% chance to win. Ivy pushes up against the locker, says, what are the odds I'm going to kick your ass? Kiana says, about the same odds as the Creeds. I mean, no, my odds are the same. Oh, shit. There's a 12% chance I'm going to beat you up, Ivy Nile. And sure enough, that's what happened. But that match happened a little bit later. First up, we had Solo Sikoa versus Duke Hudson. Solo wins this with a super kick, a hip attack, and a top rope splash.
This is a pretty quick match.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I want better for Duke Hudson.
Yeah, I do too.
After that, we had a Tiffany Stratton promo. This stuff is really good with her, man. Like, she's really figuring it all out very quickly. Mm-hmm. She says, I corrected the biggest injustice in history. How do you have a breakout tournament without me? She says, now I am where I belong in the finals. She says, when you expect greatness to happen, success follows, and I work harder than everybody else. She says, Perez's story is such an eye roll. Maybe that's why I like Tiffany Stratton, because I kind of agree with that sentiment. She says, I'm so over everybody loving her, and after I beat Perez, she can go cry on Cora's shoulder and watch me become the next NXT women's champion. I mean, the problem is that you got another heel with the title.
I know. Yep. Then we had the segment where Thea Hale chooses where she's going to go to college. She has a Notre Dame hat, I believe Alabama, and I can't remember what the other one was. First, she puts the Notre Dame one on, says, no, this isn't it. She kind of sweeps the other ones off the table, pulls out a Chase U hat, puts that on, declares that she will be attending Chase U, and of course, Chase University celebrates.
It cuts to them in the room waiting for her decision to be made. This had me laugh. This had me cracking up. I was dying laughing because they were playing this up so straight on TV. Like, oh, WWE's going to let me go to college at the same time I'm performing here. And I'm like, yeah, there's online colleges. That's a possibility.
There's Full Sail. I used to shoot stuff there.
This fool comes out with a Chase University hat. I was dying laughing because she starts doing the Chase U thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, this got me, man. I was laughing. This was funny. After that, we had Grayson Waller versus Josh Briggs. What a mess. Robert Stone and Cromwell come out to the ring. What's her name? Sophia Cromwell. Come out to the ringside. Von Wagner shows up, gets on the apron. Briggs boots him off. Waller hits that awesome rolling stunner for the win. Von Wagner gets in the ring, takes the boots to Briggs, slams his arm against the ring post. Jensen comes out. Von Wagner's trying to find a chair underneath the ring. Finally finds it. Jensen kicks at him, and he just throws the chair away, and they beat feet.
I mean, Jensen still has the broken hand.
Yeah, I know. Von Wagner should just go in there with a chair and wail away on him.
I know. I think, maybe he has to consult with Kiana James to see what his odds are of success.
She
such a
does
scenario.
not. I don't know where she got her math degree from. Maybe Chase University. I'm not sure.
Maybe
But
her statistics degree. Yeah.
Yeah, her numbers seem a little suspect.
Yeah. Because she did lose to Ivy Nile.
Oh, yeah.
In the next match. Ivy couldn't put on her Dragon Sleeper, but she just hit a couple kicks, slammed her. So anyways, Pretty Deadly come out with some Diamond Mine shirts that they kind of cut up and put back together. And says, essentially, we're going to win it in your house. Creeds are going to get kicked out of Diamond Mine, and we're going to be the ones that do that and see Diamond Mine close. Creeds come to the ring, and then Pretty Deadly's like, all right, we'll see you Saturday. So the Creeds grab him, bring him in the ring, wreck him a bit, throw him out, hold up the tag titles. Not looking good.
No,
Creeds.
you don't do that. They're new, so they don't really know the whole go home math thing.
Yeah.
What they should have done is showed up, got their asses kicked. Then they walk in with a momentum.
Yeah, exactly. Bring bring Pretty Deadly in there and be like, all right, let's fight.
It is interesting.
And just take it on the chin.
The last thing you want heading into a big match is momentum.
Yeah, I know.
You want anti-momentum.
You do. You do. You need that chip on your shoulder. You need that bulletin board material, Steve.
Right, yeah. I took that.
I got right there.
Do you have it? Can you turn the camera to your book? May I see the
I'm not
bulletin
going to do
board?
that because that's for me only. That's my bulletin board
You've
for my
told
motivation.
me multiple items on the bulletin board.
Yeah?
Can I just see it, please?
No.
I'd like to know what I'm up against tomorrow.
Oh, you know.
Well, yeah, but I'd like to know more. Can you show me, please?
No, I'm not going to show you my game plan. Why would I do that?
Now, please. It's your game plan or your bulletin board?
Both.
Your game plan's on your bulletin board?
I drew some plays up there.
There's some X's and O's?
You got that right.
Am I the O?
Yeah.
You're calling me fat. All right. After that, we had a Giovanni Vinci video package. Larson, I was buying into this until the close-up of him cutting his steak.
I'll say this. Could mean two things. He was using what looked to be a butter knife. Yes.
Is it because he's so strong?
That was part of it. Maybe it's really tender meat.
Okay, so I'm not cultured at all, right?
All right.
I like hot dogs.
Yeah, I know.
But is there any, if in the fanciest restaurants, is it a point of pride that the steak is so tender that you can cut it with a butter knife?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, if you get a good fillet that's cooked medium rare, it's pretty easy to cut into.
I've had some, I've had some good meat like that, but I just didn't know if it's why, I don't know who would be filming this. They'd say, hey, use a butter knife.
Yeah, I know. It seems like a situation where they were shooting it and the only knife was a butter knife. And they're like, all right, fine, let's just do it with a butter knife.
It was somebody's kitchen who I don't know, they're like a vegan or something. They don't have steak knives. I don't know. It made me laugh much more than I probably should have because it was so funny. They were making such a point of, because it was like it's like an Italian female voiceover.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, the pinnacle of fashion, this and that and the other. And he's driving in a Ferrari or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see a close up of a steak. He's just ripping through this with threads of steak.
Good looking steak though. I would eat that.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. Anyways.
Oh, then we had
so FTW Assassin says, I've seen them use spoons in videos before to show off.
There you go.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm the dumb one here.
So Dad with Dan's worked in 2 steakhouses. Says yes, very easy to cut with a butter knife, easy to eat.
Okay, but is that a thing? Okay, but here's the thing. You can cut it with a butter knife. Doesn't mean it's proper to do so. Do they not offer steak knives?
Maybe the idea was, only the finest things for Giovanni Vinci. So he'll actually go to the steakhouses where you can cut your steaks with the butter knife. He's not going to Sizzler,
Well, no, I get that. I'm just saying, if you go to the finest steakhouse with the most tender meat, do they not offer steak knives because they're like, hey, we don't need them?
I've never been to a steak place that didn't offer a steak knife.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Zondo says, I worked at a cook in a fancy restaurant. Unless he's eating, how do you pronounce this? Wagyu? Wagyu?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly.
He says he shouldn't be given anything other than a steak knife.
All right. There you go.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Wagyu. That's
Wagyu, thank you. Yeah, I know I'd have heard it before. Wagyu.
Yeah, I have too. Baron Corbin's always talking about it.
Yes. Oh, man, that guy, man, that's who I should head up. Hey, Baron. It was weird that, somebody in the WWE umbrella is eating a steak with a butter knife.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably done that before to show off how tender his meat is.
After that, we had Cameron Grimes versus Nathan Frazier. Nathan Frazier is amazing. This guy
he's really good.
Just a walking fucking... He's so good, man.
He is really good.
The way he sells, it looks like everything hurts. It's great. Trick and Mello are on commentary. And I don't know if... So, like... Once they got to some of the more spectacular moments of this match, because Nathan Frazier is just a walking highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo seemed legitimately tickled at watching Nathan Frazier. And I was like, oh, is it because he's beating up on Grimes? Which is totally an in-character thing.
Yeah.
But there also seemed to be an element of him actually being into the match and watching Nathan Frazier. Because like some of the bits were like Nathan Frazier would get some offense or he'd sell big time for Grimes. Mm-hmm. You look at Carmelo and he just seems like in awe at Nathan Frazier because he's really good.
He is really good.
I thought that was a fun little thing there.
It was.
But yeah, in the end, Grimes gets the win with the cave-in. And then Trick tries to attack Grimes from behind. He throws him out of the ring. Mello tries to attack too. Grimes fends him off. Trick pulls Mello out of the ring. So I don't know, man. Grimes is standing tall. I feel like your logic is pretty sound with Grimes winning because Solo says he's got next. But yeah, I don't know. It'd be weird if they just had that title go to Carmelo and then all of a sudden Solo got it because he's up next.
Yeah, that's true.
Yup. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions. I have a thread here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. If you can't make one of the shows, we have a question thread for all of our recaps. You can leave your question there, and then we'll answer it here on the show.
Yep.
Let's see here. First up from... Alex Foster. He asks, besides Zion Quinn, what other wrestlers should have catchphrases that completely confuse their fellow wrestlers? Von Wagner. It's Von Wagner's world. You're just living in it. I mean, I understand. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
But I feel like
for him, it doesn't make any sense. He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't really done anything.
He hasn't done anything.
In fact, he's underperformed.
Yeah, he has. He debuted in a match to crown a champion. And since then, it's been all downhill.
He was sent to UK on excursion.
Yeah.
He's probably going to beat Sam Gradwell, which makes me mad.
Yeah, I know. That shouldn't be happening. College crap. Make a Diamond Mine handshake or hand gesture for them all to do when they say Diamond Mine is for. I mean, the most obvious one is.
So you need the diamond, but then is there like a F you can make too?
Not really.
What if you do like?
What they do is they make the diamond, they go in, and then like double high fives.
Oh, what about
that?
Yeah, double high fives.
That's what it is.
You got a
so
diamond,
you go and then bring your hands down.
What if you do? There's 4 here.
You're making this way too complicated. Way too complicated.
Trying to get creative, man. Oh, let's see here. Other questions. David Matushek, who do you think Braun Breaker should face after Joe Gacy gets clocked out? His own dad.
Ooh.
He said, Dad, you lingering about this place is the reason why we got into this feud. Now I'm going to take you out because you're a butt sucker. It's like, geez.
Wow. White Brownie, if the Creeds were to lose, which UK tag team would make sense as replacements? Grizzled Young Veterans.
If the Creeds were to lose, which NXT UK tag team would make?
Or Gallus, have the Coffee Brothers reunite on good terms.
It'd be Mustache Mountain.
Oh, they're falling apart, dude.
They need to come over here so they can bond and to get on the same page. I want to see Trent join Diamond Mine. Him colliding with Roderick Strong would be fucking hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
Plus, he doesn't really look like Diamond Mine material. He likes kebabs.
King CDM, Shane has talked Vince into agreeing to a Forbidden Door 5-on-5 basketball game against AEW. Steve, you pick 5 wrestlers from WWE. Larson, you pick 5 from AEW.
Oh, so we're doing basketball games?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd go with Grayson Waller acts like he can play basketball. He's tall.
Yeah.
He does this sort of through the I'm going to take a gamble and say he actually knows how to play basketball pretty
All right,
decently.
fair.
I'll go with Grayson Waller. I'll go with doesn't like the Miz know how to play basketball?
I think so.
I'll go with him, Miz. I think Kofi does too.
Kofi, yeah.
I'll go with Kofi. Hold on one second here. I want to verify something. Oh, that's interesting. Sangha was a national kickboxing gold medalist. I was like, he's really tall. He's 6'8". I wonder if he'd be good at basketball, but I think kickboxing is his thing. So those guys, you got to figure Montez Ford with those hops of his.
Mm-hmm.
He'd probably balls.
Yeah, I would think so.
So I don't know if that's 3 or 4.
I'd
4 or 5.
I'd go Satnam Singh. He was drafted.
Yeah, that's
by
good.
the Mavericks.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lance Archer played basketball. He was a college quarterback, so he's an athlete.
Oh, okay.
And he's a huge dude.
Okay.
Scorpio Sky, huge Lakers fan.
Yeah, sure.
Trying to think who else.
Oh, Lash Legend. I'd put Lash Legend on my team. That'd be my 5th. Yeah. That's
Bailey. I think Bailey played high school basketball.
Okay.
I just don't know who else plays ball.
I know. That's the tough part. Mayor of Planet Houston, while you think about that. Mayor of Planet Houston. Doesn't seem yet like anyone is ready to take the NXT.
Jade Cargill. She played basketball.
There you go. Doesn't seem like anyone is ready to take the NXT Women's Championship off of Mandy Rose. Who should it be? And should it be when they're ready to call up all of Toxic Attraction, the main roster? Yeah, it should be. They should call up Toxic Attraction soon and have somebody take those titles off.
It should be Roxanne Perez.
It should be Roxanne Perez, absolutely.
Oh, apparently Nick Jackson's good at basketball, so I guess I can have him on the team too.
Oh, that's good.
So it'd be Satnam, it'd be Lance, it'd be Scorpio Sky, it'd be Jade, and it'd be Nick Jackson.
Solid squad.
It's a good squad.
Nikyle says, how many pins do you see Roderick Strong taking before his contract is up? I don't know when his contract's up, but I think it's a while, isn't it?
It is. I think it's several years. Yeesh. So what's a pin? I don't know. Every 3 weeks.
So every 3 weeks would
50
be...
more pins. Let's say 50 more pins.
Yeah, okay. That sounds right. Makes sense. All right, everybody, we're going to be back tonight for our AEW review, so pay attention to your subscription feed thing. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube and that little notify bell. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, do us a favor, leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps grow Going In Raw. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald, here to tell you to go support Going In Raw and Friendo Club at patreon.com/Steven Larson. They got bonus episodes, ad-free audio, a weekly newsletter rounding up the week in wrestling news, and a bunch more. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Go support or get hit with a stunner.